Happy No King's Day to everyone. Though it seems to be a not-so-happy one for Donald Trump, who appears increasingly frustrated today. This moment has become one of the largest demonstrations of public opposition we've seen so far, and it's reportedly what led him to leave Washington, D.C. for Mar-a-Lago in hopes of avoiding the attention. But that plan doesn't seem to be working. Even during his golf getaway, the spirit of No King's Day followed him, turning what was meant to be a quiet retreat into a headline-making day. We'll break it all down in just a moment. But before we do, please take a second to leave a like on this video. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. It really helps support our work and keeps us bringing you updates every day. Now, before we dive into why Donald Trump seems so upset about No King's Day and how it disrupted his plans, let's start with a great explanation of why this day matters. From Jessica Tarloff, right here.
What do you think as you look at these protests and what Joey just said about the lawful apprehension of individuals that ICE has worked on, cases that they've worked on, who they are, and the other people that they're rounding up have agitated against them or threatened them in some of these situations in the Broadview protests?
Sure, they certainly have rounded up some bad hombres, and I think if you attack a police officer, then you should be taken in and also get your due process rights. But we also know there was a ProPublica investigation that more than 170 Americans have been detained by ICE, with 20 held for more than a day without being able to contact their lawyer or a loved one. And that's what the No Kings protest is about. Donald Trump says, I'm not a king. And yeah, we get it. You're not a king. You wish you were a king, and you're running this administration as if you should have those kinds of rights. The lack of respect for the Constitution and the laws of this country are astounding. And Trump even told Kristen Welker when he was on Meet the Press a few months ago that he didn't know if he had to uphold the Constitution. And in preparation for today's show, I just wanted to go over a few of the things that people who are going to be out there on the streets peacefully protesting are upset about. Starting with the basics, signing an executive order to do away with birthright citizenship, which is literally in the Constitution, sending troops into blue cities.
Oh, you mean
unilaterally implementing tariffs, which Congress gets to do. I already talked about the 170 Americans who've been locked up. Cracking down on the First Amendment, detaining students for op-eds you don't like, targeting law firms, universities, reallocating funds appropriated by Congress to fund your big ICE force, firing inspectors generals that are looking into your friends like Elon Musk, making billions off of crypto scams, and your kids are running all over the world making deals. And the Trump administration has defied 1 in 3 judges that have ruled against him. And you're seeing that from judges appointed up from Reagan up to Donald Trump that are saying absolutely not, you are breaking the law in taking some of these actions. All of that is what No King's Day is about.
Then why are they always dressed like a furry, screaming about
They're not always.
Like boys and girls locker rooms?
To show how ridiculous.
Like they are ridiculous.
Wouldn't you rather they be in
like
a
if they want to make
some
sort of intellectual argument, I don't think dressing up like a unicorn and running out there and screaming every time.
It is an intellectual argument to say,
how you do that. That's just what I would tell them.
You're making it up about what's going on here at that ICE facility because I'm dressed as Pikachu
whatever that is.
And posing no threat. They arrested a guy who was singing.
Well, if it sounded bad, his voice was terrible, Jessica.
All right, Jesse, let's bring the intellectuality to this.
Is President Trump a king?
Well, I celebrate No King's Day on July 4th with the rest of the normal Americans by barbecuing and lighting off fireworks.
This isn't a slow-moving threat anymore. It's an authoritarian agenda playing out right from the top. Former President Donald Trump continues to push boundaries, undermining the balance of power in Washington. And it's happening with little resistance from some Republican leaders in Congress who seem unwilling to challenge him or defend their constitutional responsibilities. Donald Trump wants people to feel powerless, to make us believe resistance is useless, because fear fuels his political project, but that only happens if we let it. We've seen what happens when major institutions, networks, and corporations briefly give in to that pressure until public accountability forces them to stand up. We can't afford to surrender to fear. When we stay informed, when we speak out, when we hold power to account, that's when democracy wins. Even now, while MAGA voices try to spread misinformation and fear, we're standing firm, and we're calling out the truth together.
Hate America rally. Hate America rally. Hate America rally.
We call it the Hate America rally.
The farthest left, the hardest core, the most unhinged in the Democratic Party.
This will be a Soros paid-for protest where his professional protesters show up.
It's all the pro-Hamas wing and the Antifa people. They're all coming out.
I wonder, as someone who has spent nearly 4 decades serving this country, what you make of some of those Republicans saying that this is not American, that it's about hate America, and linking this to Antifa and Hamas.
First of all, those are absolutely total lies. Those are the words of dictators and people who want to stay in power and to suppress the First Amendment rights that we all should enjoy as Americans.
This is exactly what MAGA media and their talking heads want you to believe. They want you to think that today's movement is fueled by hate, that it's meaningless, that it won't make a difference. But the truth is, it already is making a difference, and it's driving them absolutely wild. This isn't a hate-filled rally. So that's the kind of fear and division Donald Trump thrives on. They want you scared. They want you silent. But that's not happening. People are showing up in huge numbers across the country. You might even be watching this while attending a No King's Day protest yourself. I'm recording this video, editing it, and publishing it before heading out there too. And I've got some great interviews coming later today that you won't want to miss. But as you can imagine, Donald Trump isn't happy about any of this, because here's what he had to say about No King's Day.
2,000 people expected across the country protesting. I spoke with the president in the Oval Office yesterday about that. Watch. Mr. President, do you think that the government shutdown is all about this rally that's happening this weekend, the No Kings rally?
No, I mean, some people say they want to delay it for the king. This is
more
not a king. You know, they're referring to me as a king. I'm not a king.
Right. No, but just so that Chuck Schumer could go and say, I'm fighting Trump.
Yeah, well, Chuck is, at the end of the line. He's being beaten by everybody that they poll against. I don't think it matters to him. I think he's just so dead that he'll do anything. They made one mistake. They didn't realize that gives me the right to cut programs that Republicans never wanted. Giveaways, welfare programs, etc. And we're doing that, and we're cutting them permanently. We're cutting a $20 billion project that Schumer fought for 15 years to get, and I'm cutting the project.
Donald Trump wanted to spend the day at Mar-a-Lago. Then he wanted to go golfing. He didn't want anyone to bother him. But that is not what's happening. Because in South Florida right now, across the country, in conservative areas, big cities, small towns, and everywhere in between, No King's Day protests are happening right now. Wherever you are in America, there's a gathering of people standing up, speaking out, and showing that community power is stronger than fear. Honestly, I hope you're watching this while you're out there at a No King's Day event. But if you're not, I hope you're taking time to connect with others, to share your voice, to celebrate being part of something bigger than ourselves. That's what today is all about, community and joy. They want us quiet. They want us afraid. They want us isolated. But that's not what's happening today. Today we're showing up with energy, with humor, and with purpose. We're making our voices heard, standing strong, and reminding everyone that Donald Trump's so-called movement keeps losing. He wants you to believe otherwise, but the truth is clear. All Donald Trump does lately is lose. And to give us some insight into just how much he's been losing recently, here's what Rachel Maddow had to say about it, right here.
Likely massive protests tomorrow are coming at a time of pronounced weakness for him and his administration. And I think the mainstream media doesn't always talk about this. I think one of Trump's great geniuses, sort of one of the things he's actually truly great at, is getting the media to cover things he wants them to cover. Even if he can't always get the kinds of coverage that he wants, he can almost always get the topics covered that he wants. And so because of that, I think some of the ways in which he is at a profound moment of weakness in his presidency have just kind of slipped by and not made the headlines. But I think if you're being real and you take a wide aperture look at what's going on with him right now, that's the pretty obvious bottom line. I mean, here's just one piece of that. So today's Friday. Usually every Thursday, we get the jobs numbers, right? We get the jobless claims data. That usually happens every Thursday. On the first Friday of every month, we're supposed to get the data on the number of new jobs created and unemployment. We're not getting that now, apparently because of the government shutdown. The first Friday after the shutdown started, they reportedly had that jobs report ready to go and they could have released it, but they didn't for some reason. That's not exactly a sign of strength.
Donald Trump is not the unstoppable force he wants people to believe he is. Not even close. He keeps losing in court. He keeps losing in public opinion. And every time he tries to control the narrative, we push back louder. Our protests, our voices, and our collective action are showing him that the people are stronger than his bluster. Wherever he goes, he's going to keep hearing from us because we're not backing down. And when he goes online to post angry rants, it just shows one thing: insecurity. He's not powerful, he's rattled. So keep showing up, keep speaking out, and keep standing together. We'll keep doing that right here on this show. If you want to support our work, make sure to hit that subscribe button, like this video, and if you've made it all the way to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments, and until next time, I will see you soon.